Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. As you may have guessed, I'm doing a baking for beginners today, and it's Christmas edition. It's the first Baking for Beginners Christmas video that I'm doing in 2020. Today I'm going to be making Peppermint Pattie stuffed chocolate cookies. This recipe is from Delish, and I will link it down in the description box below in case you are interested in trying out for yourself. I think it's going to be a great beginner recipe because there's not a lot of ingredients, and from what I've read, it sounds pretty simple, so let's hope that's the case. But I hope you like my festive outfit. Sven insisted on the antler ears, but I won't be wearing them for the entire video, just for this intro because they could be a little bit cumbersome while baking. But stay tuned for my other holiday videos because I have lots of festive ensemble choices to share with you because my mom is the queen of bargain shopping, and last year when things were on sale, she got me all kinds of fun, crazy Christmas get-ups. Not just ugly sweaters, but ugly sweaters and beyond. So stay tuned if you want to see what my next crazy outfit will be. But I do think that this is quite fun, being a Disney lover, and I've never had a sweatshirt that lights up before, so there you go. But now, let's get into the baking. So, the things you are going to need for this baking recipe are 1 box chocolate cake mix, and that's all it said was chocolate cake mix. No specifics, but there's fudgy chocolate cake mix, devil's cake mix, all different varieties of chocolate cake mix. So I figured it couldn't matter too much, or they would have been more specific. So I just went with the devil's food because that seemed like the most common one. You'll need some baking powder, 2 large eggs, and the recipe calls for canola oil, but I'm going to be using vegetable oil because I looked it up and it doesn't really matter. So you'll also need vegetable oil or canola oil or oil of your choice. And then 14 mini York peppermint patties and sprinkles for decorating. So I have this nice holiday assortment here. So as you see, not many ingredients at all, so that's helpful and hopefully it will turn out well. I forgot to mention, I thought when I looked up this recipe that I was going to need the mixer, but it doesn't sound like you do. You just need 2 mixing bowls, a whisk, and that's how we're going to mix the various things. And then it called for 2 baking sheets that are going to be lined with parchment paper. So first we are going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and then line our pans. Okay, the pans are lined, so I'm just going to set those aside for now. Next, I'm going to take the large bowl and whisk together the cake mix and the baking powder. And you need 1 teaspoon baking powder. Pretty simple. Takes no effort to do that. Next, we're going to take our other bowl and whisk together the eggs and the oil. And you need 1/2 cup of oil. I don't know why they have us combining these in separate bowls when they're just going to be mixed together, but maybe it's to make sure that they all fully mix in the liquid before adding it to the dry where it could potentially not be fully mixed. Okay, well that seems as mixed as it's gonna get. So now we have to stir that into the dry ingredients. We're gonna do this till it's fully combined. Now everything is fully combined and we've got our batter. And next it says to use your hands, which if you've watched past Baking for Beginners videos, you know how much I love touching food, baking, anything like that with my hands. I don't. But I know it is necessary with a lot of baking to do that. So that's what I'm going to do today. It says to use your hands to make it into small balls of dough, and then flatten the ball to place the peppermint patty in the center of it, but then fold it back over the peppermint patty to cover it up. Okay, so I thought I did that step on the baking pan, but no, that wouldn't make sense. So I'm gonna need a plate or cutting board or something to do this on. Then once it's together, it says to transfer it to the baking pan. And it says it should make about 14 cookies, we'll see. Then you top with sprinkles once they're all in the pan, and then bake. So let's get to it. I'm really not good at judging the size of things, so not sure really how big to make these in order to come out with 14 cookies, or in order to have them not be too big or too small. So it's gonna be a bit of trial and error. And you know what? I'm gonna be smart. And I'm gonna open up all the peppermint patties before putting my hands in the dough and getting them all dirty, so that the peppermint patties are ready to go, and I'm not trying to unwrap them while my hands are dirty with cookie dough or cake dough. So I'm proud of myself for thinking of that ahead of time, because there are past baking for beginners videos where that would not have happened. This is what experience can teach you. Don't enjoy this part. I really don't know what size to make these. This certainly is an experiment. Seems to have worked okay. Except it's a bit sticky, gooey, sticky. It really does stretch once you've flattened it out, so that's helpful. And I can see why they used cake dough instead of cookie dough, because it's definitely, or it seems to be more pliable. I don't know if that's the right word, but seems to mold in the way that you want easier. Now these might not be perfectly shaped cookies, but it wouldn't be a baking for beginners if they were, now would it? Let's hope this is the size that they are supposed to be, so that they cook correctly. Doesn't seem to want to go back to being perfectly round around the mint. Okay, 4 down, 10 to go. Afraid I might be putting too much dough. Again, it's hard to judge, and I need the mints to be able to fit inside, so we'll find out. I will say, as I'm going through, the dough is getting softer and softer. And it's not that warm or humid here, but I'm sure my hands are probably warming it up too, because normally they're freezing, but today they're not for some reason, so I'm betting that'll contribute to it. All right, I did decent judging the dough, because we're at 14 now, and I opened an extra York as a bonus, but I can probably make about 2 more, so I guess some of them might have been unequal, or I could have put more for some, but not as bad as I thought. So we're gonna get 15 cookies, but now that I'm looking at them, they do seem to be slightly varying in size. Ah well, we did our best, and that's all you can do. All right, now for the really fun part, decorating. Of course, the sprinkles never want to stay on, they just want to fall all over the pan, because that's what they do. Don't know how they expect the sprinkles to stay on these cookies. Oh boy. Trying out different ones to see which ones work best, and none of them seem to be working so great. These brown ones were okay, but they're also not that pretty looking. So, who knows? I'm just concerned the sprinkles will go flying off of the pan onto the floor, or worse, into the bottom of the stove. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, first ones are done, so I'm going to put these ones into bake while I'm decorating the other ones. They need to bake for 8 to 10 minutes, and then it says to let them cool slightly on the baking sheet, then transfer to a wire rack to cool completely. So I'm going to pull out my wire rack. I'm going to start them at 8 minutes, see how that goes. but it doesn't say how to tell if they're fully cooked, so guess I'll just have to guess and hope that you can tell. Now going back to my first ones, they definitely look smaller than the second batch, but at least they're kind of similar size on the same pan. I think you'd have to make a lot of cookies to get through this thing. Seems like there's quite a bit to use in here. Okay, so these ones are ready to go in. Just took a look at the cookies after 8 minutes, and since those ones are the bigger ones, I think they need a little bit longer, so I put them back in for the extra 2 minutes. We'll see how that goes. I might stick a toothpick in just to make sure they're cooked, and then the next batch can go in. These ones were quite uneven in size, so some may be a little more cakey, but they do seem to be baked all the way through. I'm gonna let them sit for a moment before putting them on the rack and then put the next ones in. Okay, so they are now done baking, and I think they have cooled enough, so now it's time to taste. They are very chocolatey, bit rich. You can see, hopefully it's close enough, you can see the peppermint patty in there. They seem to be pretty filling, considering I was hungry a moment ago and now I feel a bit full. They are a fun, easy, quick treat to make for the holidays. Wasn't super quick for me, but for more experienced bakers, you could probably get them done pretty quickly. I think my favorite thing about it is the fact that there's so few ingredients required, and it's just kind of a fun, festive, yummy, chocolatey, minty dessert. It is one that I would recommend to you. I hope that you enjoyed this Christmas Baking for Beginners video. Let me know what you think about the recipe. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you see all my other holiday videos that will be coming soon. I hope your holiday season is going great so far. I know it's looking different for a lot of us this year, but hopefully you can make the most of it and still find the joy in the season. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.